Agents as backup to your location.
About damn time you get us some help. Get in here right now.
Foster, we need support on the stairs. Martinez, move up on the flank. Go, go, go.
I first heard about The Division during King Ithalion's Destiny stream. When I checked it out for myself, I realized this was going to be a game for me. After putting about 20 hours into the closed beta this weekend, I realized that I'm more excited for this game than I was before. The first thing I want to get out of the way is that this game is not for everybody. There are a lot of comparisons made between The Division and Destiny, and that The Division is going to be the Destiny killer. Well, I've played Destiny primarily for the last year, and I have to say these are two very different games targeted at two very different types of gamers. The Division is obviously third-person cover-based, it's much more strategic, less run-and-gun than Destiny, but also it's a lot heavier on the RPG elements that some of Destiny's players just aren't going to find attractive. I want to go ahead and take a minute to get into a few specific things I liked about the game. I thought that the cover system was great. It was very intuitive, it actually worked. When you're in cover, you stick to cover, and it actually shields you from enemy fire. Another thing that I found was a major positive, the gunplay in the game is actually very unforgiving. It takes a decent amount of skill to be able to get headshots on your enemies, and the enemies aren't as bullet spongy as some people thought they'd be going into the beta. I found it to be a nice balance requiring skill and patience to down your enemies. As a primarily PvE player, and somebody that's actually relatively new to shooters, not playing many of them since GoldenEye for the N64, I thoroughly enjoyed the Dark Zone PvP element. The Dark Zone wasn't so overloaded that you were just going to get looted constantly, but at the same time there was enough enemies where you had good pacing and you could engage other players at your leisure. My favorite part of the Dark Zone PvP was the rogue hunts, finding and hunting down rogue agents, because this was one of the best ways to collect loot to be able to buy some of the most expensive and best weapons available in the beta. Now that I talked about the positives, I want to get into some of the negatives that I had in the review, and there's not many. And before I get into these negatives, I do realize that this is a beta, and these issues may be resolved when the full game releases. So I had two major complaints about the beta. The first one is there's just a lot of running around and not doing anything. I hope that a lot of this is going to be fixed once more side missions and random encounters are added in the full game, and that's something that I anticipate won't be a problem. However, the Dark Zone was very, very empty. The number of actual other players was quite satisfying. You weren't overwhelmed to the point where you feel you were going to get looted constantly, but at the same time you weren't going minutes without finding people. You were able to engage other players at a pace that I thought was very, very good. But as you see here in this sped up clip, there's a huge lack of AI enemies in the Dark Zone. This is one continuous clip, just sped up, showing how rarely you actually come across NPCs in the Dark Zone. Going back to the encounter rate of other players in the Dark Zone, I wanted to show something that I thought was actually very cool. Beyond the proximity chat that's available in the Dark Zone between you and non-hostile agents, if you run across a lone agent and you want to add him to your group, it's as simple as just inviting him very, very quickly. He accepts the invite and you have a new teammate. Overall, the Division beta was a great experience, and I'm more excited for the game now than I was prior. On release day, I'll be streaming the game exclusively at my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/GVSUGod, and you can always find more content regarding the Division here on my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and if you like the video, go ahead and toss me a subscribe or leave some comments below. Have a good one.